How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another BLADE-OSOPHY Sunday. And yes, we are still, like I said last week, emptying the cup and just enjoying pretty much just making firewood. But amongst other topics and subjects, I'd like to talk about one that this week? Yeah, this week had an interview with the knife junkie Bob DeMarco. Great guy. So if you're not subscribed to Bob, go and check out the Knife Junkie. Great podcast. But he asked me a very interesting question, and he asked, what do you look for in a knife for you to consider buying a knife or putting it in your collection? What do you look for? And of course, we gotta talk about quality. Of course, we gotta talk about aesthetics. We gotta talk about functionality and materials and whatnot. There are many things to talk about whenever we choose a knife, right? Sheaths, for example, are a factor that might not determine but influence. But what are those things? What are those things that that make me buy or not a knife? And you can see the 5 knives. So I have one here in my pocket. The 5 knives that I have here today, they are all signs of quality, guarantee, materials, design, aesthetics. But there's also one very important factor here. In each one of these. Can you guess? I mean, we got a modern, traditional, fixed blades, a pocket fixed blade. Great one, by the way. A traditional fixed blade. Nesmuck pattern. Fantastic, right? Well, to make the story short, and I've talked about this in another video. And it's about essence. It's about identity. It's not just to have a gimmick with a knife, but also, and this, I don't know why the conversation just took another spin with good old Bob, but I did wanted to answer that because it's a very important point for me. When we talk about identity, how can a knife have identity? Well, that's why customs are customs. That's why these, at least the ones that I have here, they have something more to them. You know, they're not just generic knives. There's more to it. I don't remember how I mentioned it. Something like more like essence. It was another word. But anyways, how can you define identity? Can you define identity? Well, yes, you can. Each country has its own identity, even each region, state. And so, therefore, also in knives, we can find identity. Can you distinguish Jason Guthrie from Bob Terzuola, from Dmitry Sinkovich? Can you distinguish a Spyderco from a Benchmade? Can you distinguish a Chris Reeve from a Strider? Of course we can. They have developed more than just generic knives. And generic knives are okay. I mean, they're functional, and we should look at them in that way, just as functional tools. But then again, there's just more to it than functionality. Like I've said before, and so that's what I wanted to answer, and that our conversation with Bob and I went many places, and it was fantastic. I am very grateful for the interview, and just it's awesome to form part of that community. And but I wanted to give Bob a clear answer on my behalf, and that is, a knife has to have more than quality, more than just geometry. In sum, the sum, that's exactly it, the sum of all the parts to make something with a different identity, with a something that has an identity. Right? We may have something very generic like this, a tool, just a tool, and then again we have this type of tools that are still functional, but that there's just more to them, a whole lot more to them. Hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. Professor EDC out.